Welcome, everybody. I'll go back and hit the rewind button. Welcome, everybody, to the December Town Hall. My name is Chris Netto. I am the Market Development Manager here at Starin, and I am your host for this fun podcast. With me today, I have not one, not two, not three, four special guests. Yes, I used my fingers to count or else I'd lose track. But yes, four special guests are joining here. We are definitely out of our league here. Producer Mark is definitely sending me notes that, my God, we have way too many folks here for the first time in a long time. I'm happy to bring on today. Let's start with with our crew that we have here. We are joined by Melissa Dillman. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Chris?
I am hyper. I'm ready to go because I only get to bring you on the show once a year, and this is it. I'm excited.
How much coffee have you drank?
Way too much. Way too much. By the way, thank you for asking. Joining us as well is the CEO, the head cheese of Starin, Mr. Bobby Swartz. How are you, sir?
Oh, pleasure to be back on the show, Chris.
Thank you, sir. You too. I only get to bring you on once a year to ask you the tough questions, so get ready because we may have to bring your guitars into the fold.
It's a virtual background.
But as much as I love to bring our own crew, today we are welcoming two special guests. Why are they special? What makes them special? Very simple. These folks that are joining us today are two new product additions to the Starin family. I'd like to first introduce from Shure. If you did not see our press release today, yes, Starin is now a distributor of the Shure product line, and it's here. We brought somebody here to join us. Troy Jensen, how are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me, Chris.
We're going to go real quick since they know Bobby, they know Melissa. Give us a little bit, tell us a little bit about yourself and your company so we can start this fun episode.
Well, no one's heard of Shure, right?
No.
Hopefully most people are familiar with Shure. It's rare to find a 96-year-old company in the AV market. So we've been in this market for a while and looking forward to discussing things. My title actually is Senior Manager, Global Accounts. A little different, but I'm still a person for accounts to reach out to and help develop designs and solutions for our customers.
Sounds great. Well, thank you so much, sir. Appreciate you joining us. Short notice, since obviously we sent out the press release this morning to let everybody know that, by the way, we're now a Shure distributor. Thank you, sir. We're going to get right back to you, but we're now going to jump over and welcome and introduce Nick Benoit. Am I correct in that, or is it Benoit? Because I've been messing up pronunciations all day.
I won't hold your feet to the fire on it, but it's Benoit.
Yeah, I see. I was close.
You were. Second time's a charm.
Well, you know, the only Benoit that I know was Benoit Hogue, who played for the Buffalo Sabres back in the 80s. But I digress. It's my Clark Griswold jersey kind of messing with me. Sir, you were with Smart. Smart is one of our brand new partners as well. Can you give us a little bit about Smart and what you do at Smart and all the good things?
Perfect. So thanks for the introduction, Chris. So my name is Nick Benoit. I'm Enterprise Solutions Manager as well as a technical consultant with Smart. So I've been with Smart 12 years. I started out with our headquarters, which is actually based out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. From there, I transitioned into driving key accounts in Boston and New York City. Most recently, I was in Australia, leading our enterprise and government business out there. And for those of you who do know Smart, you know, Smart is often thought of as the creator of the interactive whiteboard. Smart boards are much like Kleenex in the sense that when folks see a large format touch board, they automatically call it a smart board. That's obviously both a blessing and a curse, but folks think about Smart as predominantly a K through 12 education technology company. And yes, that's where we thrive. Yes, that's where we're a market leader. But what folks don't often know is that we also have a really deep presence in higher education and a really strong value proposition in the corporate and enterprise space as well. And we couldn't be more excited as an organization to partner with Starin and to partner with your fabulous team to really bring this solution to the market.
Well, that is awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you so much for that great introduction of your product and everything that is Smart. We are going to I guess we're going to jump first to Melissa. Melissa, tell me something that I don't know about 2021 that is important for us as an organization that we need to. Because one of the things that folks may not know is that Melissa critiques most of my town halls. So when she comes on this show, it's to make corrections of things that I may have messed up throughout the year. So this is the Chris Neto, this is your screw up life, and we're going to fix it up right now. What happened in 2021 that is so important that we need to fix?
Let me get the book of all your. No, so, I think, and I'll just steal Bobby's thunder because I get to go first. 2021 for us was about looking internally. And it was about changing the way we come to market, change the way we do business, change the way we take care of our staff. It was a lot of internal and not as much external exposure. So what we did is made a lot of changes inside so that as we come now to the end of the year and things have settled and we're in this new place, we can bring some extremely cool brands like Sure and Smart into the fold. So that's what this year's been about.
Awesome. So there's a lot of folks here probably on the in the audience that are watching. From a business perspective, it wasn't just a digital transformation year for Starin. Internally, we looked not only at processes, but things that we had to do. But I think that now when I toss this over to Bobby, who has a better, a more in-depth look at this, because Bobby was hands-on in a lot of these processes himself, you'll find out that it wasn't just a digital transformation in the business sense, but there was a lot of things that needed to be changed because internally, we were always a distributor mindset. We had started down the path of changing from distributor to services and all these other things that we started to provide. But 2020 gave us a very quick lesson in how quickly we needed to be agile and adapt to things. And that continued through 2021. Am I correct in saying that, Bobby, or did we have this down pat? We knew what was happening.
Oh, I'd love to say we knew everything that was going to happen. Totally predicted this, nailed it. It was great. It was best ever. But that would be crap. So the key things here, though, it was 2020 was a launching pad. I mean, for us, it was talk about whiplash. We joined the Midwich Group as a partner. One of the companies became a global company, and that really provided a platform for stability. But then, let's see. That was February 6th. And I think by March 1st, the entire world was different and completely changed. So it provided kind of impetus for change with that structure. And, we looked at this year. I took over as CEO here at Starin here in January and really said, what do we do best at? I've been here for a long time, quite a while, and said, what do we do best? What do we want to focus on? Where are our strengths? And let's cut everything else off. And, we've been known, we're a specialty provider of AV. We're not AV Walmart. We're not the giant conglomerate of here's everything in a box. We cut brands. We cut major brands. We cut back. We trimmed our line and we focused on what we're best at: corporate UC and education. And we were going to be the best value-added distributor. We were going to invest in our people. We we're going to invest in our structures so we can be that for our customers. And it's been a long year. That type of thing's not easy to do, but I think, by golly, what a year. We're here, we're now, and then we're introducing new partners like Sure and Smart, which ironically fit exactly into that portfolio. And I'm excited for 2022.
Excellent. Well, thank you, sir. Your leadership and guidance has been one of the reasons why we were able to make those changes and to learn agility as quickly as possible, because we had no choice. Bobby literally pushed us into the deep end of the pool and said, figure out how to swim. Thank you. I appreciate it. In February, the water was cold, but thanks. We figured it out. And here we are now. It's, almost 2 years later. We appreciate that. Troy, I got a question for you. And the question is, coming in as a new brand, you're the rookie for us, obviously the new guy. So we're going to have to do a little bit of hazing and get you ready.
96 years.
Yeah, no.
A 96-year-old rookie. Yeah.
You're a 96-year-old rookie. You're a startup, man. You got this, right? Your question's very easy. you guys are a audio company through and through, one of the most iconic brands out there. So when the doors closed and everybody shut down in 2020, right? And for the last 2 years, what has changed at Shure? What has driven Shure over the last 2 years, right? We talked about internally at Starin, we looked inwards and fixed some processes and things that needed to be fixed internally. You guys, did you sink the time and the effort into your research and development? Did you look at what your customers were screaming for? Where was the mindset, and where did it take you guys over the last? What's been the journey over the last 2 years?
Yeah, the strange thing is it didn't slow up, right? At least for us, it didn't. On March 2020, the whole world switched to remote. And what people started to realize is how important the audio is in conferencing. If you lose the video, okay, but if you lose the audio, all you're left with is fancy surveillance, right? So now, yeah, they figured that out real quick, and the people who listen as early as December 2019 said, oh yeah, we're not ready for soft codecs. All of a sudden we're running for either Zoom or MS Teams, right? And more importantly, they were looking for rooms that they could socially distance. The huddle room, if people are still using the huddle room, they're one person rooms, which logistically doesn't make a lot of sense. During the pandemic, everybody learned how to work remote, right? So they figured out a lot of employers rather, had provided budget for their people to create a setup at home. And in their conference rooms, they needed solutions that improve that social distancing. So the winner became the medium-sized conference room. And sometimes those rooms had dedicated mics in the table, right? So there needed to be some accommodation there for a little bit more broad usage. And that brought into play, our ceiling microphone, the MXA 910. And I saw a lot of companies upgrading their conference spaces because they realized moving forward, it was extremely important to their operations.
Yeah,
it was either one-to-many or a few-to-many type address or conference, and we were happy to be there.
Yeah, one of the things that came out of one of the things that definitely came out of the pandemic and conference room design and spaces is that you don't know where the seats are going to be going forward. Like you're already working on collaborative open spaces. So audio was always going to be a challenge. I personally, when I worked as a consultant, had to deal a lot with, glass rooms and audio issues with that whole thing. And I worked in fishbowls and it wasn't fun. And you had architects and designers that like to just give you one little tiny conduit to the table and you have to jam God knows how many mics. So going up into the ceiling and doing what the Shure 910 does is definitely the way to go. And it's proving that in the future, because nobody truly knows what the office meeting space is going to be, that 910 will blanket a room and it doesn't matter where you're going.
And it's configurable.
Yes.
Right? So if you need to change, back in the day, you had to show up, the technician showed up with a drill bit and a soldering iron, right? Now it's a laptop, right? So the ability to be a little bit agile in the design and put the 910 in the ceiling and configure it differently depending upon what your needs are month to month. I met yesterday with a large financial here in New York, and they are definitely changing the design of their workspace, right? It's less office, less desk, more hoteling, more conferencing.
Can we get rid of the bean bags though? Is that
or the ball? The ball. Yeah.
Just checking. We're just checking. Well, audio is a super important piece to the whole conference room design. I am going to switch over to our friends over here at Smart, because you guys were just simply, working on that education piece, and the education as we know it has completely changed. And then you had enterprise changing at the same time where your product was already working as well. Same question. Yep. What happened over the last 2 years? Where is your, to quote Gladwell, where was your tipping point?
Yeah, totally fair. So We've grown and evolved. We've had a couple of the best years in recent history at Smart. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that our products have been uniquely designed to support this new changing way of working and learning. We were creating a product called Lumio that was initially designed for computer-enabled environments. So the idea is we're seeing more and more one-to-one devices actually enter into the classroom. So the critical need was, how do we promote and foster collaboration between the teacher and these students in these computer-enabled environments? What we saw as we transitioned to distance and remote learning, the same value is applicable if you're in the classroom or if you're working remotely as well. We know when it comes to really effective learning and effective distance collaboration, there's three key components. Mr. Jensen, I totally agree. Audio is number one. If you're ever in a call and you hear, your call is done.
Nick, can I interrupt you for 1 second? You were the first. You're the first video person ever to acknowledge that audio exists in the word AV. Thank you, sir. I've waited 20 years, and it's finally happened.
Outside the Smart board here at Smart, but I would argue. That so we're a collaboration company, not a video company, and our focus is on content, right? So you need your audio, you need your video, and you need content to learn effectively and also to collaborate effectively. And that's where we've been, that's our piece to the puzzle, right? And so when we looked at distance learning, Smart Lumio brings, it supports real-time collaboration, it supports student-centered and project-based learning, it supports assessment. Most importantly, it supports all of this at a distance, which set us up and positioned us really well to thrive during COVID. Secondly is we've also been positioning our enterprise solutions as well to support true simultaneous distance collaboration. And this is about meeting the customer where they are. So is this about getting to market more quickly with your specific product and having to foster collaborations between your teams that are geographically dispersed? Is this about reducing travel costs, which is really, kind of an old value proposition? Is this about driving engineering productivity? What is your business transformation piece that we're supporting with our collaboration software? We have a product called Teamworks that we are so excited about. And what we see with Teamworks is giving you one touch to join into any conferencing platform. So, Zoom rooms do Zoom great, Teams room do Teams great, Teams great. But what we see is that organizations have multiple different conferencing platforms. What Teamworks does is it supports the one touch to join into these conferencing platforms. But what it also does is it supports the true simultaneous document collaboration. So what are we actually working on? Our objective is, how do we replicate what's happening shoulder to shoulder at a distance? That's the end goal. And then the other piece of that too is that we know that the return to office is happening. That's imminent. It's going to happen. So the question becomes, how do we entice users back into the office and equip those spaces with the right technology that's not only going to foster collaboration in room, but also engage those remote participants who may be working from home or traveling and so on. It's been a fantastic learning experience for us over the last 2 years, Chris. It's been a really good opportunity for us to double down on our research and development piece. And it's been sobering to know that, we've been on the right path all along as far as, how we've developed our technology and whatnot.
I love how you use the word collaboration here, because as AV professionals, we get drawn into the conversation of collaboration. It's usually referred to as a video. I'm going to collaborate with you and I'm going to sit here and as you drink your water and watch you. And that's how we're collaborating, right? That's not what we're talking about. You're talking about the interaction and actually working on the piece of something, right? That's the collaborative nature of it. It's to grab somebody who is working from home and bring them back to the office. A lot of folks are focused on the going back to the office without realizing that, that's awesome that you're going to build this space inside, but how are you going to get out to the people that are still out? Because one of the things, and we're going to talk about trends, obviously, work from home is not going away. I don't think work from home is going to go away anytime soon. So how are you as a business, whether it is your integration, the integration partners themselves that we work with, or whether you are a corporate environment or a school, how are you bringing people back in to work collaboratively, right? Not so much the water cooler talk, but how are we going to get work done together at the same time and work on documents and move from document to document seamlessly and save it and do all that sort of stuff. That's the true collaboration. I think that's the spirit of collaboration that you guys are touching on. So that is awesome.
Yeah, and just to jump in there, if you think about the root word of, and I get super excited about this, so I apologize if you see me jumping at my computer.
Dude, I'm excited that I got you excited about this. This is great.
I'm excited that you're excited that I'm excited.
Okay.
If we think about the root word of collaboration, right? It's labor. Labor is the root word there, to work, to actually get stuff done. And that's critically important. I think we lose sight of that. Too often we confuse communication for collaboration. And there's a point, there's a time and place for a one-to-many push of information, the transfer of knowledge from a subject matter expert to a willing participant. Absolutely. But if we're talking about room replication, it is about getting work done. And I think you're spot on. The not only do we need to support environments, within the office that have this technology and so on, but you're absolutely right. In order for organizations to attract the best candidates, they need to have a work from home strategy and they need to support productivity in doing so.
100%.
The other part on this, Chris, and you
Go
touched
for it.
on it a little bit, is equity, right? That there is some equity between the remote associate and the person who reports to the office. And if anything, right now, the people who report to the office may be at a disadvantage because if they don't have camera tracking or framing, they don't have the Hollywood Squares or Brady Bunch look like we have here, right? So in order to communicate and collaborate effectively, there needs to be that sense of equity so we just don't hide in the darkness as a remote associate and, as you say, watch others. So
I think that from 2020 into 2021, I think the word office is changing from a noun to something else. And that something else is not necessarily a place anymore or physical location. I think the office is anywhere that you can put it. And that's what our technologies are here to do. That's one thing that made us essential workers early on and why we are essential to how businesses are going to continue evolving. So I appreciate both your perspectives on this. I have to jump to my mentor at this point, who is giving me all sorts of technical details. Melissa, can you correct me? Am I right? Am I wrong? Because, as a CTS who has constantly told me that's, you got to stay on top of the tech. Where are we with the tech? Are these gentlemen on point? Please give us your opinion on this.
Yes.
Thank you. That is the shortest answer I've ever gotten out of you. There's no way.
I was just trying to
I set you up for this grand thesis and you guessed me.
No, absolutely. I mean, we're so excited, and interesting enough, we have a comment in the chat talking about mergers and acquisitions of distributors. They're asking what keeps us competitive and relevant. Easy. Competitive and relevant is that, we have key brands that fit our client base, our objectives, not just Bobby literally will say no to 10 brands that beg to come on. And they're great brands. They just don't fit our market objectives. It's personalization, it's care, which has been Bobby's theme all year. We have brands like Sure and Smart, and Nick, I have to laugh. Like I told you yesterday, I was a Smart dealer back when I rode my dinosaur to the office. And I realized, as we were talking about bringing Smart on, is that, the kids that, unfortunately, the kids that I was showing smart boards to way back when, those kids actually are in boardrooms today. And that's a little shocking. And Troy, I would have expected a little bit of, you don't look that old, but that's okay. But hey, that's cool. They're in boardrooms now. And why not take that technology they grew up on and move it to the boardroom? And yes, it has a little different spin and use, right? We don't need them to match circles and squares anymore,
Right.
sort of, unless they're doing an org chart. But I mean, why not, right? And then Sure, I mean, you can't talk about audio and quality without talking about Sure. You just can't. And honestly, these are two brands that I would have last year early would have laughed and went, there's no way they're coming on board. And the fact that today we're so excited to announce both, it's a win-win. That's what we're doing. It's a value add. It's the brands that matter. That's what we're doing to stay relevant and becoming the UC experts to Bobby's brands.
And to the question on what's being made irrelevant, it comes back to it's a great question, because it's all new. So I only speak with what we're doing here. And we've been through an acquisition 2 years ago, so we're already veterans. And for us in particular, what it means is to be the specialists in what we do. What are we best at and do better at it? We bring a value to UC and education, and I challenge my teams every day here to get better, to bring better service to our customers. That's from how we process an order to that. And are you perfect? No, we just keep going. You got it. It's an incremental progression, but in those areas, that's where we're going to take it. That's where we're going to keep going. And anything aside from that, it's again, a loss of focus for me. So what's happening in other M&A and other firms and mergers, acquisitions, I don't know what their strategies are, but it doesn't affect what my vision is for this company and what everybody's here trying to do. And that's what's most important to me and how we'll be different.
That's awesome. You know what, Bobby, your game plan is not very hard to see. You're being very transparent about what it is that you want. And if we do care just a tiny bit, we're going to be successful about this, because that's the important part, right? You're bringing in brands that not only are iconic brands, right? And don't take this the wrong way, gentlemen, when I refer to you guys as mac and cheese, but you guys are comfort food for people in the meeting spaces, right? You can't go wrong with either of your products in your specific verticals, right? In the audio side, or obviously in the education and corporate space, you're known. It's what Melissa said. People have grown up with your brands, know your brands. It's comforting to them, right? And on top of that, it's not that you sat on your laurels and let it happen. You guys have transformed as companies, right? Your products have evolved. You know, Troy, you mentioned the 910. I think the 910 is a great product, but you guys have so many other products. Right. I will put it up here, and I can maybe see it in the chat room. How many people have used an SM58 to hammer a nail? Right. And we will sing the praises of that,
but because that is recommend that.
We do not. That's not that's not covered in the manufacturer's warranty.
They still work though, so you don't need to use the warranty.
I was just going to say we've actually even dropped them out of helicopters, and they work. So, yeah.
You know, there's YouTube channels that could use that kind of content. I'm just saying.
Yep.
That would be cool. But absolutely, from the SM58 into the MV7, which is a product that I love as well. You guys have taken, you know, even the slightest thing from going from an XLR connector and adding a USB connector, because you know what, in AV 5 years ago, if you said the word USB, people would go running for the hills. And now it's hotter than sliced bread right now. Everybody wants that. Everybody wants to talk about the simplification and oversimplification. It's not a simplification. I think we've gotten to the point where we're all grown-up adults here. We want the best and we want it to work. We don't need to sit here and tinker. Yes, folks, if you're looking to buy your AV kid their first AV toolkit, please buy them some IT classes and the laptop, because those days of having to need a soldering iron may have changed. You need a crimping device and maybe a laptop. Things are changing, and we should all change along with that. So let's now get to the point or the part of this where we start revealing our crystal ball, right? Let's look beyond next week. I'm really stretching it, right? Tell us about 2022. We're going to start with Nick. Give us what 2022 has in store for Smart, and what should we be on the lookout for?
Yeah, so we are couldn't be more excited to double down and continue to invest heavily in our corporate and enterprise space. So that's where you'll see purpose-built solutions designed specifically for collaboration spaces. When we develop a solution, we develop it with, multiple different stakeholders in mind. So look for us to continue to evolve the way that we design our solutions from an AV standpoint. things like built-in USB hubs into our boards to support that pass-through of USB. Continue on from your affinity for USB, Mr. Kringle.
I tell you, if you add a little power to that, man, people will love you if they could charge your phone.
We're
Just
powered up,
saying.
baby.
Ooh, there
We're
you go.
powered up.
You're speaking my language.
USB-C across our boards here now. We're doing audio, video, touch, and power to our USB-C. We're doing what we call integrated visual input select. So think about this as a visual representation of all of the inputs that are actually active on your board. It's functioning basically as an embedded Extron, Crestron, AMX type experience. This is all about driving adoption and driving usability, but it's also about driving seamless and easy to install solutions as well. We're doubling down on how we work with third-party UC platforms as well. So look for us to have an enhanced experience with how we support Zoom, an enhanced experience with Team. Google Meet, we're seeing more and more as well. So we'll be continuing to support this from both an embedded experience, actually embedded in the display itself, but also with things like an OPS Windows 10 PC, we'll continue to support that. Melissa had talked about the evolution of students now coming into the conference space. And we realized really early on that your software drives the value of your hardware, right? Touch is ubiquitous, but how we actually achieve true business transformation is when we enable those business users to work with the software that they use on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. So we'll continue to integrate with platforms like Microsoft Office, PDF. We'll continue to support our users in working with CAD, Tekla, BIM, architecture, engineering, construction, manufacturing, design applications, anything that's highly visual we want to play in. Again, folks think about Smart as an education company, but we add so much value to so many different verticals. If it's visual, we play really well in. And then we can also be a pure touch display as well. So again, working with Zoom rooms, working with Teams rooms, we want you to think about Smart, not just for those collaboration intensive spaces, but for really any space where touch is needed.
Awesome. Well, that sounds to me like something you're doing today. So you kind of cheated, but you gave us a good thing. But you gave us a great preview. Thank you, man. I'm sitting here. I'm like, wait, they do that. They do. That's not 2022. That's now. Well, I appreciate it.
But better, Chris.
Okay, go for it.
But better. That's right.
Awesome, but better. Excellent. I for one am excited to see the progression as that goes along, especially, you're speaking our language when you went down that UC conversation. Obviously, multiple UC platforms is something that Starin is now a big part of, and getting that conversation to all streamline into whatever you're using. We have the products to help and support that, and we have the team of experts that can help you integrate all those things together. That is what is important to us, and making sure that everybody walks away satisfied that what they got is a quality product and the right solution. So now over to you, Troy. Give me something good. Are you going to reveal something? What's coming in February? I'm just, I have to do the inquiring minds want to know.
It's just we won't tell.
There's only so much I can divulge. But the trend, if you follow us at all, you're used to having DSP in an appliance, your acoustic echo cancellation, your noise reduction, and your automatic gain control. And we created that product in our P300, but then we took the engine of that, and we were able to take that software, if you will, and put it into some of our endpoints, specifically the 910 and the 710, where the DSP is actually on board with the microphone. We've also taken that software and have it as a standalone software package, right? So that's pretty key. And we're going to continue in that development. So, look out for improvements on that. One of the most recent improvements we've made on that is implementing an AI denoiser. And I recommend anybody, if they haven't seen it, to go to YouTube and check out the Shure AI denoiser video. But anything like potato chip bags, pen clicks, keyboard tapping is now eliminated from being transmitted out to the far end. And it's extremely impressive.
How does it do against Bark signaling a Amazon delivery driver?
I'll leave that up to you to make that determination.
I'm just asking for a friend. I don't know.
Yeah. But or the viewers who are on the call here to go.
I'm sure.
To it. Yeah, extremely impressive. I mean, every time I do a demo with it, not only is the client impressed, but I'm still impressed by it. So
Great.
the fact that we're now in the software realm gives us a lot of flexibility about where we can throw that software to, whether it be endpoints, an appliance, or on a standalone software basis.
Awesome. And before I get to our internal folks and start doing the trends and predictions that we have, real quick to both Nick and Troy, where can we see you guys next? Right? It's been kind of quiet. I don't expect, obviously things are changing in the world rapidly. What is your tentative schedule like where we can see your products at upcoming, maybe a trade show or a road show? What do you guys got coming up?
He just wants to know if you'll take him with you to ISC. That's
No,
all
I do not. That is not the case.
That's all he wants to know.
Listen,
Sorry,
just
Chris, I'm busy
because,
that weekend.
okay.
Yeah.
Just because, all right. I'll be remiss to say, because Bobby just sent me a message. We are a global organization. So these are global brands that may be happening to be displayed at other trade shows across the world. We forget that. We can help. So anyway, where can we see more information?
Spanish? Yeah, how's your Spanish?
What's that? How's my
your
Spanish?
Yeah.
Fluent in Spanish and Portuguese. Go.
All right, there you go. Good.
Let's make it happen.
Well, it's
So-
Barcelona, right?
That's
For
it.
ISC. Yep.
Excellent.
February. Yep.
Chris, I have a crystal ball.
Go for it.
My crystal ball says that I'm going to prize some prizes out of Bobby's hands.
What? Those weren't
Look at
supposed to be
Bobby.
private.
Bobby's like,
Bobby wasn't supposed to give those away.
really gonna make me do this.
Awesome.
Oh, that's today.
Awesome.
Oh,
We're gonna-
So Chris, what I'll throw out there is, as we return to, hopefully sooner rather than later, we're doing, some of these things face to face, because, even though we have, wonderful technology like Sure and Smart to support the collaboration piece, there really is no replacement for, a firm handshake and spending some time with your partner. So that's something that we really look forward to, and we'll have a presence there, as the world opens up in most major shows. And what we'll say as well is that, as we launch the Starin partnership, we're really excited for perpetual touch points and working with your team and your channel around, who is smart, what do we do, trainings, knowledge transfer sessions, feedback sessions, what are we seeing in the market? How can we evolve our technology? This is a marriage, not a date. And, we love to treat it as such, right? So, we will be present, and, we're really looking forward to that as well.
Well, I appreciate both of you giving us the heads up, and for the members of the audience, I do want to let you know that there will be individual town halls coming up with both Sure and Smart, where we will see some product, talk in depth about product, do a little demos, get you guys the information to start setting you up, to show your customers, to show your internal teams. We will have those things all set up as well with webinars and seminars. You're excited. I know I'm excited, and the team's excited to have everybody to have these two new brands represented by us. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on and being part of the show. And if there's any questions for you that you guys have for Nick and Troy, I will be glad to get that to them. But now we get to the part of the show where we get the crystal balls from the internal team here. Melissa, do we go with you first? What is your prediction for 2022?
I think we're going to have a good time in 2022. I think we're all tired of the pandemic. The internal shuffles, the internal fixes. Now it's time to get out and make some noise. So 2022, I think with great new brands, with our UC focus, we will be coming out loud and strong. And I'm with Nick. I look forward to getting back to seeing some people in real life. So that then I can go back to video. But we want to get out and see some people have some fun. So 2022, that's where we're headed.
Wow, that sounded like a hint to me.
I always know secrets.
That's it.
Always.
Mysterious. You're so shrouded in mystery. It's ridiculous. Well, thank you. And what about technology? Where do you see things going?
I think we continue. I think the technology, we're seeing some dynamic shifts. I'm hearing a lot about companies are ready to go back to the office, probably mid Q1, regardless kind of where we're at. They want to get back. I agree with Troy. There is a huge difference in what size rooms are today. A huddle room today is no longer a 3-person room. It's now kind of a 1 person, maybe a 2 if it's big enough. But I think we see some really cool new tech trends that are coming. I think you're going to see a big shift in some of the feature sets that you want in UC, and they might be announced, I don't know, at ISC. But we're not going to say
what but you didn't say it. So that's great. Thank you. Thank you for not getting us into legal hot water for dropping that information.
I tried.
Bobby, now that Melissa is not creating any panic through vendor partners and manufacturers and stuff that we work with, what is your vision of 2022 that's coming down the pike?
Eventually, we all know, and we deal with this internally. I mean, you and Melissa know this as well as anyone else, but I think every company is we're watching for the back to office. Back to office doesn't mean what it used to. 6 months into the pandemic, back to office meant back to the way it was before. That is different, but we're not there yet. There will be there because there are benefits to being in the office, to socializing, to having a water cooler talk, to being able to walk in and say, can we sort this out? Can we just meet on this? To hearing other people respond to things. It's therapeutic. I mean, there are benefits psychologically to it. And there's also huge benefits to productivity at home when you have a good workforce. And we have a hell of a workforce here, and I know most companies do. So it's about finding that marriage of what that net new looks like. And we're all going to work on it. When that happens, though, from a technology standpoint, we have to be able to adapt to it, and having the right solutions is going to be key, because it's going to be, we think, and it might dip and change. But I think there's going to be an inrush of solutions as we really do. Corporations get back to work. In this new model, there's going to be a lot of business. And it's also going to be who's the quickest to respond for a lot of this, because people don't know what they don't know, and you're going to learn trial by fire. And that's something we exceed in. And then my other vision, and then my other vision for 2022 is there's probably some prizes to give away here at some point, since somebody reminded me.
Excellent. I got a note, and that said, what do you think, Chris, of giving away prizes? Absolutely. Prizes were in the future, and there we go. Holiday Town Hall winners will be announced here.
What do you have fun to give away, Bobby?
So today we have.
It is the holiday season, my dear.
It is a holiday season. So instead of, just a $50 gift card, we have a few extra things here.
What?
So there's a $50 gift card. And then I'm going to go ahead and approve the $100 gift card. But then we also have a pair of Ionic earphones. And I think we can see in a couple of the shots here a Shure MV7 podcast mic, which anybody on the call who needs to upgrade their audio might benefit from. I'm
Chris
still
cannot
waiting.
win it.
My desk is empty, which is weird. I'm just pointing out, but I seem to be overlooked on these things on a regular basis.
The downside of knowing folks is that you can't get the prizes.
So through our random number generation provided by producer Mark Decker, we have for the $50 gift card, Christine J. You'll be getting contacted by Mark Decker, so do not delete his emails. It's very important. For the $100 gift card, we have Tim D. Tim D, please look out for Mark Decker. For the Ionic earphones, we have Garrick H. Garrick, congratulations. Enjoy those, and make a killer gift for Christmas if my wife is watching. And the MV7 podcast mic is Troy V. Troy, keep an eye out for Mark. You just upgraded your audio, so
nice. And thank you to Shure for the amazing gifts.
Thank you. Thank you to our guests, our sponsors, and Chris, I'll let you do the recap. But this is kind of, Melissa and I might have started something along these lines a while ago. So whenever I get in, it's my yearly thing to get to say thank you to everybody on the call. And I really, really appreciate my partners, customers. It's been a crazy year. We've all been together. And back to the questions, it's what we're here to do. Is we're going to continue being the best at what we do, and we're not there yet. I don't know if we ever will be, but we're going to damn well pursue it for the rest of the 2022, and you can count on that. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, we are now at the final, I guess, the end portion of this conference call, town hall, meeting, Christmas party, whatever you want to call it what you will. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all a happy holiday season. Thank you for lasting 12 episodes of this town hall with me as your host. That is a new record for Starin because there's always been an interchangeable thing. So 12 consecutive town halls I was able to do this year. That could not be possible without you attending. So I appreciate that. I wish you all take your vitamins, wash your hands, use sanitizer, do what you got to do. We want you to be around come June because we have plans. And what Melissa was talking about earlier, we may see you sooner, but let's all get there together. Let's do the right thing, whatever we got to do. I too have been working from home. I went 614 days without leaving my house. I finally left my house and now I'm back in again. But I do want to get back out. I enjoyed my time that I had out and about and meeting folks out in the UK. I appreciate for any folks that are watching. Again, have a happy and safe holiday. We look forward to entertaining you because that's what we do on your town hall. We want to do that, entertaining you, bringing you not only our products, but we want to bring you the people that are behind the products. People like Troy and Nick who are going to be available to you guys and be able to assist you not only in your designs, but in your product selections. And you have that opportunity through us, through Starin, to get access to that manufacturer. It's not just something that we hold and hoard. We bring those people to you, and these webinars, town halls, that's what they're really intended to be. So if you have questions, send us questions. You have ideas of people or brands you want to see on a town hall, let us know. We're not here. We're not here to just, operate in a vacuum. We're here for you guys. And we'll be here for you in 2022. And we look forward to doing all the crazy things that we did this year, 10 times bigger, 10 times better next year. And our hope is that you guys have a happy and safe holiday. My name's Chris Netto. I am the host of the Starin Town Hall. Wishing you all happy holidays. Have a great new year, and we'll see you in 2022.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Happy holidays.